And so that's what we're focusing on, is building that network and expanding what we're currently doing and making sure that we can influence those things immediately around us and grow that capability. With that growth becomes the things that we've kind of talked about within our company, which is cultivate versus curate.
Yeah.
We are focusing on cultivation, which is kind of everything has that same opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a farmer, we all know about cultivation. That's basically preparing the soil and preparing the opportunities, and then casting the seeds, fertilizer, everything that you need. You don't know what you're going to get, but you do want to make it fair. You want to make it so that anything can grow in that environment.
Mm-hmm.
Where curate focuses on, hey, we recognize that person is, and then curate starts becoming at some point too political. So if curation becomes too political and it's all about your friends, who you have or who you know, or how much money you have, that's when curation can get into trouble. Yeah. So we want to focus on the cultivation so that everybody grows, everybody gets the same opportunity, and basically allows for that growth of everyone in that environment. We want to try to avoid that selective favorites or selective teaming, or the folks that already have it just get more of it. That really doesn't work in a cultivation.
Give me an example of current social media curation.
So it's basically, if we're talking about Facebook, then it would be like Facebook choosing what we see, or like the political ramifications if you're just focusing on one politician, or what a lot of folks are accusing Twitter and Google of, which is just pushing their one point, right? So that's, in my opinion, the worst piece of curation is that you pick one voice, one topic, one identity, and then move it forward.
Yeah.
Where if in cultivation, if they've earned it, right? If they've shown that they have the ability, then reward them for standing out in the crowd, versus picking and curating and grooming and saying this is the only one voice and one person that we like. So you see it quite often in politics that it's all one-sided, whatever side. I'm not saying either side is good or bad, but when they select a individual, not based on their skills or based on their experience, but just because they knew them, right?
Yeah.
That's the worst case of curation.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll give you an example I just noticed. Yesterday, I'm looking at Twitter, and it says the top comments on such and such. It's a very political thing going on right now. But it said the top comments. It gave 10 comments that were all from just one side. And then a few comments on
like at the end,
the other side, right?
Yeah.
No, and most people don't realize this, but it's true. Most people don't look past the third one.
No.
When we used to sell phone books, our sales pitch was most people don't look past the third person in the yellow pages, right? They look in the yellow pages. They'll only look at the first three.
That's why you see all these AAs and AB and names that don't make sense.
Triple A
start
this
with
and Triple A that, right?
Yep.
So the idea was to get yourself placed there without having to pay for it.
Yes.
Because the only other way to get yourself looked at is then to buy an ad, right?
Yep.
So and the internet works exactly that way still, right? If you
they've adopted those same approaches.
Yeah, if you want to be at the top of the list, knowing that people do not look past the first page,
you pay.
Then you pay, and but it's gotten even worse than that, because you don't always have to pay. If you're what they want, you can be in the top ones too, through
alternating their code to pull those that are the favorites to the top.
Yeah.
And so that then becomes the worst case of curation, right? If you're manipulating the system, not on searches or likes or looks or folks that have earned that power or built their network, and then you're actually having other influences that are not the vote of people clicking or liking or something along that line, then you're manipulating that data. Yeah. And curation certainly allows that more than cultivation does.
Yeah. The cultivation being, you pick the things that are ripest.
Right. We want to allow folks to get that opportunity with the recognition of it's not a popularity contest, but it is a influencer direction, right? And those with that direction then get the bonuses of the extra views, right? They don't get the special treatment that comes from curating them to the topic, comes from actually doing the work and the views and getting to understand who your community is and what they need.
Mm-hmm.
And those are better forces than just having the person with power choose and select who does what. So that's some of the things that we want to correct, right? We want to go back to, if you have the network and you build the network, then the network should work for you. And you need that information to grow of who likes what video and find out which source video content, whatever medium you choose, then basically be able to understand what your fans want and then grow with that community.
So that was another interview with Arro Social's founder and CEO, Phil Simpkins. For your opportunity to get your fair share and to find out everything latest as we get closer to the launch of the Arro Social app, hey, make sure you subscribe and follow us on Twitter at Real Arro Social or at Arro Social on Instagram and Facebook. See you there.